Ladies and gentlemen, your host for this evening, Jimmy Kimmel.
My body is my temple. That's why I start every morning with a brisk aerobic workout. But I can't do it alone. Workouts are easier when you have a partner. My workout partner is my maid, Marguerite. Marguerite's soft brown stomach protects my knees and ankles from unnecessary wear and tear.
Not too much longer, mi sopra, okay?
Cállate! That means shut up in Spanish.
Chinese people with them little heads and feet, smiling all the time, passing out free cookie with word in it to Carmelo after he eat. Don't think y'all can fool Carmelo with no cookie. Carmelo love cookie, that's true, but he don't need no magic word inside his cookie food. Tell us what you think of the statue. I mean, do you think that she's attractive or not? Mm-hmm. Take another look at her.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and it is another disastrous Oscars season, and viewership continues to be what could only really describe as it's like a disappearing at the most rapid rate imaginable. Host Jimmy Kimmel, one of the most unlikable characters in the world, getting absolutely dragged on social media over several incidents at the event last night. And by the way, nobody was watching. Viewership in the tank, and also forced to go up against The Last of Us, which even made it worse. Debuting a ridiculous Little Mermaid trailer and about nothing else, has nobody talking about it, and I couldn't be happier. Now, look, you see this article here. People aren't watching the Oscars and other awards show increasingly. Are they just for elites? Well, yeah. If we look at this article leading up to the Oscars, in recent years, viewership of this ritzy event has plummeted. Statista revealed that a while in 2000, 46 million people watched. Viewership has steadily declined. In 2021, the show hit its lowest amount of viewers it had in 2 decades at 10.4 million viewers. To me, like, a lot of people are saying, okay, that's more than a 75% decline from its previous numbers. But I'm still shocked it was 10 million. Viewership recovered slightly at 15.36 million in 2022. I mean, that's a 50% increase. I'd say that that's relevant, but it was still much lower than it had been historically. The decadence of the award show may be to blame during a time of economic struggle, but it might also be the prevalence of the award shows and the shift from movie-going to streaming. Matthew Gilbert gave 2 reasons in his article on the subject of the Boston Globe. The Academy Awards come towards the end of a long award season, so it's a possible reason, but other award shows aren't faring well either. This year, the Grammys had their 3rd worst viewership in history. According to Statista, millions of viewers have stopped watching the show. Maybe because people are disillusioned with these award shows because old Hollywood glamour is gone. Now Hollywood is giving more and more excess. Well, I mean, quite frankly, this is just the truth of it. You see right here in 2023, the new numbers. In 2023, 12.4 million Americans watched the Grammys. So another drop last year. The figure marked an increase from previous year, but still represented the 3rd smallest TV audience in the history. 3rd smallest in the history. The Grammy Awards have suffered viewer losses for the better part of a decade. The show's rankings peaked last in 2012 when an estimated 39 million people tuned in to watch music's busy night. This is the Grammys. Okay, so when you look at the Grammys, that obviously did not go well. And when you look at the Oscars, it's the same thing. If you look at even their numbers from 2022, around 15.36 million people watched the Academy Awards ceremony. Oscars viewership fluctuates year by year. However, last time the ceremony drew a U.S. audience more than 40 million was back in 2014. The figure recorded in 2021 was the lowest yet and marked a drop-off of over 50% from just the previous year's audience. Nobody cares about these rich elites. Remember, especially now more than ever, you have all of these people, wear a mask or you're the worst human on earth. Well, Colbert, get the poke or you're the worst human on earth. My body, my choice, but not with this. Cram it in there. Side effects be danged, because Stephen Colbert told you to, or Jimmy Kimmel got up on stage and fake cried about it, or any one of these other late night shills who take Pfizer money all did. But then Kimmel last night, quote, "One of the worst things I've ever seen," Jimmy Kimmel branded a national disgrace after harassing a survivor of the tally at the 2023 Oscars with awkward question and the Coke Bear stunt. Like, everything they do falls flat. Jimmy Kimmel branded a national disgrace after fans claim he harassed the survivor Malala Yousafzai during a bizarre Oscars segment. The host, 55, left the Nobel Peace Prize winner, 25, visibly uncomfortable as he approached her during the break in the proceedings. The break of proceedings and asked her an awkward question about Harry Styles and Chris Pine. The presenter read out the question from a fan named Joanne, saying, "Hey," she asked, "your work on human rights and education for women and children is inspiring, as it is the youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner in history. Do you think Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine?" Malala looked confused and responded, "I only talk about peace." A breezy Kimmel retorted, "You know what? That's why you're Malala and no one else is. That's a great answer. The winner is Malala Land, everybody." Then the evening took an even further awkward turn as an attendee dressed in a real-life Coke Bear from the movie crawled down the island and began to pester Malala. He called out, "Oh, the bear, leave Malala alone." The activist looked on with worry. Malala was a teenage education activist. When the Pakistani tally hunted her down, they stopped her school bus and gave her face a lead injection back in 2012. She survived, and 2 years later won the Nobel Peace Prize. So fans quickly took to social media to slam Kimmel's disrespectful behavior, one writing, "I love Jimmy Kimmel, but his interaction with Malala was one of the worst and most painful things I've ever seen on TV." Another wrote, "I was absolutely horrified with the interaction between Jimmy Kimmel and Malala. Jimmy, you were incredibly disrespectful." One other one, right? "Jimmy is a national disgrace. This woman deserves better." While a second wrote, "Why did Jimmy Kimmel and the bear just harass Malala on TV? Oh my God, leave her alone." Another wrote, "I hope Jimmy Kimmel pays for making Malala answer that question. She deserves better than that." I mean, the whole thing was absolutely ridiculous. Nothing funnier than the Oscars cutting off a winner, thanking his family for support by cutting to Jimmy Kimmel making bear jokes to Malala. Kimmel's a joke. That wasn't funny at all. I mean, there's a lot of people. And she replied back, "Treat people with kindness." So she kind of got the last laugh there. But here, viewers savage 2023 Oscars. Cheap, dirty champagne-colored carpet, airport Hilton. So even the thing is, they're trying to simmer it down a little bit so people don't, call them elitist so much. But it's like, however, armchair pundits were less than impressed with the drastic change, taking it to their turnover, finally getting around to tuning into the Oscars for the red carpet coverage. WTF is a champagne carpet? No, it looks horrible. Another claimed the carpet made the event look drab, declaring, "Okay, the champagne carpet at the Oscars is terrible. They look like they're attending a corporate banquet at an airport Hilton." The third vexed viewer claimed the color was chosen by closer to boring beige than chic. I mean, I don't really know or care what these losers walk on, but this is your average. This is like your average Oscars viewer. So even like the woke, celebrity obsessed people hate it. They tried to shake things up for the first time in 60 years, and it absolutely backed things up. You see, 2023 Oscars users aren't holding back their thoughts on Jimmy Kimmel as a host. For the 95th Annual Academy Awards, late night superstar Jimmy Kimmel was tapped for hosting. Jimmy Kimmel's delivery is a bit off, wrote Twitter user. He needs to slow down. The sentiment was echoed by other people who said this host was confused in his delivery. We need other people pushing Jimmy Kimmel off stage at the Oscars just for fun. Others were not pleased with Jimmy Kimmel's hurtful jokes. While the Oscars never shied away from calling out some of Hollywood's duds, misfires, and bad movies, some viewers thought the comedian's jab at Damien Chazelle's Babylon went too far. "Get Jimmy off the stage. I draw the line at Babylon slander." Shared, "Gonna start Jimmy Kimmel hate train for Babylon diss." Some viewers even went up and suggested that Kimmel bombed her his monologue. Jimmy Kimmel needs to shut up. How many more years must we be subjected to Jimmy Kimmel? In response to the comedian's Oscar gig, Kimmel also was called by Indian film critics for labeling Triple R as a Bollywood production. I don't need to hear Jimmy Kimmel incorrectly call RRR a Bollywood movie. By the way, yeah, it was a very, very good movie. You know, focus on the movies, not on Kimmel. So everyone basically hates Jimmy Kimmel, and it's not a surprise. He's easily the slimiest, you know, most hateable person on the planet. And ultimately, you just love to see it. As somebody who's outside, like, I was watching old reruns of King of Queens. By the way, show still holds up. Obviously, it's very formulaic, but it does make me laugh. I was watching that and just enjoying myself as the Oscars went on. Nobody cares about, you know, he out of desperation, he addressed the slap, and even that wasn't very funny. He admitted that they hired a, quote, crisis team to keep the Academy looking good in case of an emergency. Was he get through the evening without distracting, unplanned hijinks, like obviously Will Smith? He even talked about, you know, Kimmel did roast the audience about not doing anything, you know, while it was happening, just sitting back and being shocked. What would you expect Hollywood people to do in that situation anyway? Kimmel, who was hosted twice before and runs a generally uncontroversial late-night talk show, must have seemed like a safe choice, notwithstanding him having intruded upon Quintina Brunson's Emmy acceptance speech back in September. So, yeah, not a good look. Nobody really cares. Viewership, again, way down, almost certainly a record low. And that's going to continue because it's the Oscars. The Oscars suck. Jimmy Kimmel sucks. Hollywood elites suck. There's nothing good about this show other than laughing at how much of a failure it is. And that's exactly what we do here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe down below. We're really close to 1.5 million subscribers. It'll be awesome to earn your subscription. And we'll talk to you again real soon.